guys, it's Bat Brick, and welcome back to Storytime with Bat Brick. Story for today, The Church Mice Adrift. It had been decided in the town hall that Wordle Thorpe must keep up with the time. And so great changes were starting to take place. There were some that thought this was a very good thing, and there were some who didn't. Because for some, finding a new home isn't that easy, and they have to search far and wide, and look in the most unusual places. And when at last they have found one, it is full of little inconveniences, which have to be sorted out. The church mice were having a nice chat about cats and how they were going to eat them. No.
That's not what it says.
And as Samson the church cat was out for the evening, they were being very rude about them. Particularly the ginger one. When suddenly their whole world collapsed about their ears. It was a dismal sight, which greeted Samson's eyes when he arrived home. But after listening to the mice's sad tale, he decided that things weren't as bad as they looked. Don't worry, chaps. A lightning pounce, a few quick 1-2s with the old paws, and your troubles will be over. Just stand back and watch me. So they stood the fuck back and watched him. But what they saw was not entirely cheering. It was a wet night in the churchyard. Arthur and Humphrey, whoever the fuck they are, tried to hearten everybody by reciting poems about straight backs, unbending knees, and stiff upper lips. But it was cold comfort. At length, Samson mumbled dejectedly that he knew a place to shelter, if they cared to follow it. And being fed up with the rain, wind, and poetry, because fuck poet, the mice followed. Samson grew his hair back and led them to an empty house. It was damp and cold, but better than the Satanic Vatican.
Pepper.
What?
That's not what it says.
It was better than the churchyard. They grumbled themselves to sleep. The next morning, Humphrey called an emergency meeting. I think that's Humphrey. I don't know. He said it was no use relying on a so-called cat for help. What the fuck is a so-called cat?
You're a so-called bat?
Brick. Then Arthur stood up, who identifies as a they, them, them. They, them said what was needed was an intelligent plan, and we had to trust it. The mice must be welded into a ruthless fighting machine. He had nothing to offer them but blood, sweat, and tears, and a jelly bean. Arthur, Humphrey, and 1 or 2 others, well up in military matters, directed operation. Samson, the so-called cat, watched for a while, and what he saw only confirmed his opinion that if the rats were to be thrown out of the vestry, they'd have to leave it to him, the so-called cat. When he got the mice together and explained his plan, they admitted it was not bad, considering he was only a cat. A so-called cat. Samson, the so-called cat, and his team went about setting their traps. A long story short, they all got their shit together and admired their handiwork. Free grub for all rats. Some of the mice were waiters to the rats. The rats ate a shit ton. A long story short, the rats were very pissed off. After realizing they were set in a trap, Samson, the so-called cat, and all the mice saw that a terrible mistake had been made. as Arthur and Humphrey was still in the house in the trap. But after eating too much, like gluttonous fool, the rats were too slow for the two mice. There's a duck who doesn't give a fuck. Anyway, so basically the cat, the so-called cat, uses his tail to reach the mice to free them and save them from the stupid fucking rats. However, life is a series of ups and downs. Suddenly, without any warning, they experienced a down. Samson was falling, and a fish wanted to eat the so-called cat. It's ironic. A boat came around, saved in a flash. Flash is gay. But for Samson, the worst was yet to come. He told himself there was a price to pay for being irresistible. What in the bestiality shit is this? My God. The end. Sorry for traumatizing you, but this is a storybook from Fuego's childhood, so she wanted to traumatize you about